This is for the Americans. If you're not an American, feel free to watch, but please try and get it to the Americans. My name is Bianca van Wyk, born in South Africa, live in South Africa. Today you will be welcoming the so-called white Afrikaans refugees. They are there based on an offer made to them, which I must say was informed by disinformation about South Africa. Now, I've seen a lot of takes on who Americans think they are receiving. Okay, you are not getting successful, professional, white, middle class South Africans that are fleeing South Africa. The people you are getting are the people that believe that there is discrimination against them based on their race. Keep in mind, we live in the most unequal country in the world. We have, for instance, 70% of agricultural land and agricultural holdings are owned by white South Africans. 62 to 68% of top leadership positions in corporate are filled by white males. There is a huge salary disparity between white South Africans and the rest of the population. And there are a number of other indicators which shows you that this story of discrimination based on race is false. Another thing that I wanted to say is that you will get certain so-called refugees that have experienced crime. However, in South Africa, no one is exempt. These people that you are welcoming assume because they're white, they should not experience crime. The people most affected by crime in South Africa happen to be black people that live in poverty. So as you open your doors and welcome people, and you're going to get a lot of information and disinformation from these people, please do keep that in mind. Oh, I also would like to say all the best and good luck to the Americans.
Yes, I am white. Yes, I have green eyes. But no, I'm not European. I'm African. And to every white South African, especially Afrikaners, stop clinging to the West. The future hasn't been there in over 400 years. And those Afrikaners who fled in 49 thinking they'd escape Africa, they died the day they left. Their children aren't Afrikaans. They're American. Their culture buried. Their identity lost. You do not preserve a culture by running. You preserve a culture by evolving. If you really care about being Afrikaans, about your blood, about your identity, about your children, then your future is in African unity. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to become part of Africa's direction, or you will be wiped out by history. Just like any settler who thought they could live on borrowed time. Pan-Africanism isn't just for black people. It's to anyone committed to the land, the people, and the future of Africa. The next war is already here. The war of ideas fought in our soil, over our resources, and over the direction of Africa. It's time to stop being settlers and start being African.
I'm so sick of people saying that white people cannot be victims of racism. So I've made this video to explain exactly why white people can be victims of racism. Now, if you listen very carefully, you can probably hear that I'm actually from South Africa. So we have a long history in South Africa of racism. But people sometimes think that white people in South Africa was not victims of racism. But let me explain exactly how we were, in fact, victims of racism. You see, when you think that your value as a human being comes from your skin color, you stop trying to be a good person in other ways. So during apartheid, we were told as white people that we were better than black people. And some people, they start to think that that means that you are automatically better. It doesn't matter what you do. So we had white people in South Africa who were raping people. We had policemen who were taking people off the street and torturing them and doing the worst things you can imagine. And they walk around thinking, oh, I'm white, I must be okay, I must be good because my skin makes me good. You see, if you are a racist, you are a victim of racism because you stop growing as a person. You stop seeing other people as fully human. And you look at a black man and you think, I'm better than him because of my skin. But what actually happens is the black man that you abuse and oppress, he grows and he learns and he becomes a better person because he has you as an example of what a terrible person is. And then we get someone like Nelson Mandela, and he comes out of prison after 27 years and he's better than any white man in the country because he's learning the whole time. And the white racist sits there and thinks, I don't have to learn because I'm white, I'm automatically good. And you become the biggest victim of racism. You become a fucking idiot. So all my white brothers and sisters, man, we've got to get rid of this racism. We are not growing as people. We are not becoming the people we should be because we think that our value comes from our skin color and not from the way that we treat other people. Do not be a victim of racism. Do not be a racist.
Hi guys, here you see a white African owning up to his shit, accepting the fact that he's truly an African, and advising his fellow white Africans to accept the fact that they are fully Africans and stop being settlers in another man's country. Guys, he advises white Africans to stop the act of migrating to other man's country, being settlers, rather than belonging to the country or the community that they belong. Guys, you actually think most white Africans believe the fact that they can fully settle and coexist with their fellow black Africans? Guys, let me know your thoughts all in the comments. And yeah, guys, let's see these other videos shortly, and I'll be back by the end of the video.
Hey, lovely people, and particularly a quick word to my American friends who might be tempted to believe what Donald Trump is saying about South Africa, my home country, where I happen to be right now. Him and Elon Musk are racist twats who have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Because what they're doing is taking the word of a fringe racist group called AfriForum and other disaffected whites, disgruntled by the end of apartheid, feeling hard done by, and much like the Israelis, victimizing themselves when they are not victims at all, bitching about how, you know, land redistribution is racist against whites. These are such ignorant provocateurs, and it's going to backfire on them. South Africans' majority, the black majority, and it's a multiracial, multi-tribal society now, only own a tiny proportion of the land versus the size of their population. And while white South Africans make up 7% of the population, more or less, they own about 70% of the decent land. And so the redistribution of land is to address past inequities, and the vast majority of South Africans agree and understand why that's happening and that it's a good thing. It's also under a very strict mechanism. Now, not everyone agrees, of course, with the mechanism, but the principle is what racists like Musk and Trump are railing against here on behalf of a bunch of assholes who equate equality with oppression, because for so many years, decades and decades of the apartheid era, they were the oppressor. And as we know, whenever the oppressor looks at something like equality, it suddenly becomes oppression of him. So fuck Elon Musk, fuck these idiots from AfriForum. You probably know nothing about them, but this is a bunch of, you know, the equivalent of your kind of Proud Boys hanging on to some past that never actually existed, and a past in which the vast majority of people in this country were oppressed, suppressed, and treated much like, fortunately not quite as badly as the Israelis treat the Palestinians. So this whole railing against South Africa, I'm going to add one more point. South Africans on the whole, all of us, white, black, Indian, colored, which is not a term, is a specific term for those of you who might get offended by that, a specific racial group. We are very, very resilient people. As a country, we have gone through a great deal, both in terms of the early part and then the transition from the apartheid era to genuine multicultural democracy. And whatever Trump throws at us, we can handle it, because we've been through far, far worse in our history. And my hope is that South Africans all turn around with one voice and tell Trump to fuck off with his sanctions and his fucking withdrawal of aid and his tariffs and all of this stuff, because we can live through it. What I'm not sure about is whether Americans can, because for the most part, all the stuff that Vivek Ramaswamy said recently about Americans being soft, not prepared to put in the hard graft, and all this stuff, I tell you, for the experience of most foreigners is true. Now, it's not true of every American I know. Some of them are the most hard-working, wonderful people in the world. But as a general principle, South Africans are far more resilient and able to withstand this kind of bullshit authoritarian pressure than any American population. So, to my fellow South Africans, let's stick this out. Let's stick up the middle finger to Trump and particularly to Elon Musk, because we know from his background that he left South Africa in the apartheid era and retains the racist bullshit that's motivating these people like Creel. And now that I'm in South Africa, I'm seeing their awesome, ridiculous tweets. Fuck those guys as well. They're the past. Most of us are the future, and it's a beautiful future.
Are white farmers facing genocide in South Africa? That's what President Trump claims, and he says he has evidence. He confronted the President of South Africa with it at a meeting at the White House. It ended up pretty contentious, felt a bit like an ambush. But Donald Trump says, in his words, it's sort of the opposite of apartheid.
You're taking people's land away
we have not.
from them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed. They're being executed. And they happen to be white, and most of them happen to be farmers. And that's a tough situation. I don't know how you explain that. How do you explain that? They're taking people's land away, and in many cases, those people are being executed. And in many cases, it's not the government that's doing it. It's people that kill them and then take their land, and nothing happens to them. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country. They're also going to Australia in a smaller number. But we have thousands of people that want to come into our country, and they're white farmers, and they feel that they're going to die.
How many of you think Trump has a genuine reasons for bringing in this white South Africa into the United States as refugee? Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Following all the videos we've watched and seen and heard so far, guys, let me know your thoughts generally in the comments concerning all that is transpiring. And guys, it is indeed funny that this apartheid system of government that has happened over the years, and yeah, coming back to this current century, the South Africans, the white South Africans, are still seeing themselves as being, more special than the black people. Okay, yeah, following the previous videos that we watched, guys, let me know what you think in the comment, guys. As per now, most of the white people are already realizing that the black people are doing well for themselves, that they are just, in that their old sense of imagination, thinking it is what it used to be. Guys, let me know your thoughts all in the comment. Thank you guys so much. See you in the next one. Bye.